1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All
one of resistance.
we are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
Rebellion.
Rebellion is built on hope.
And redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the 35th episode of Star Wars Reactions. We got a great show planned for you today. I am one half of your hosting team. I'm Aaron Harrison. Joining me, as always, the incredible David Motters. David, how's it going?
Good, my brother, my Star Wars brother. Just was excited to get back together. You and I have, when we told the listeners we would, probably go to every other week, and just with the amount of stuff that's come out, and it's made sense, but doesn't mean I'm not excited to record. In fact, it makes it more exciting for me because I love talking Star Wars with you. So I'm ready to go and excited to talk about the High Republic.
That's right. Yeah, it's been a while, and it's always fun to record and talk to you. So we got a fun show, and I just got accompanied by Obi-Wan Kenobi, my dog. Hi, Obi. He just ran in and said hi. We got a great show today. We're just going to do a non-spoiler discussion about the High Republic series that is coming out and has been released. First couple books are out, comics are coming out, and there's a lot more to come. And this is just a very ambitious publishing directive they've started. And I'll be honest, from what I've read so far and what I've done, I've really enjoyed it. It has been a great, some great writing, some great stories to be told, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. Have you read any of seen any of the High Republic stuff yet?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, really been following it. In fact, buddy, I was just thinking about it before we got on. I was looking at the show notes, and Aaron and I kind of behind the scenes, we both are, trying to contribute to this. Aaron does so much. I try to help with some show notes and stuff like that, but he'll jump in and do those too. So I was looking at the show notes, and I was just thinking that we're actually recording this on a Monday, February 1st. Aaron and I usually record on a Tuesday. But the reason why I bring up February is because, Aaron, it was a year ago. It was last February that Michael Siglain, and the whole crew there at Lucasfilm Publishing had the big reveal of Project Luminous, where they revealed that this was going to be called the High Republic, and had the authors there and had the big press event. And I just can't believe it was a year ago. And in fact, you'd asked me about some of the books. I was thinking Light of the Jedi was supposed to come out in August, right about the time of Celebration, right?
Yeah.
And so that came out last month, January 5th. And I got that, did Audible. You and I have talked about, that switch over. You and I are kind of slowly but kind of surely doing it. But I did Audible for that, and did Audible for A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland. I believe is it tomorrow or, I think it's Tuesday. The second,
Tuesday,
yeah. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I think Claudia Gray Into the Dark comes out.
Yes.
Like I said, either tomorrow or the next day, and definitely going to get that on Audible as well. I did at StarWars.com listen to the excerpt from Into the Dark by her, and so definitely we'll do that and crush that. So yeah, I've gone through A Light of the Jedi, A Test of Courage. And even, like I mentioned to you again just before we started recording, I didn't actually get the first Marvel The High Republic comic that came out in January. But earlier today on the way to work, I was driving and I put on Star Wars Splash Page, which is our friends Jeff McGee and Matt Moore that were co-podcasters with us on the Coffee with Kenobi Network, and I listened to their coverage of it, and so I got a really good feel for what that was about, and so I feel really caught up with everything, honestly, except for the stuff that's coming out in the next 2 days.
Yeah, it's we're recording this Monday night, so Tuesday, which will be the 2nd, is the release date for Into the Dark, and so when this episode is released on Wednesday the 3rd, it will have been out 24 hours already. So, I'm looking forward to that one. Claudia Gray's a great author. I loved Bloodline.
Oh.
And so I'm really looking forward to see what she does. Now, just for those of you that don't do the books or comics or anything like that, the High Republic era, this publishing initiative, actually is looking at a time frame previously unexplored in Star Wars. It's set actually about 200 years prior to the events of the Phantom Menace. So it's in the top. It's in the high life of the Old Republic. It is following the adventures of the Jedi, and this tragic event that happens, which all sets up in the Light of the Jedi and moves forward through the books with the start with it. I just blanked on it. The beacon, the station.
Yeah, you got it.
Starlight Beacon.
You got it.
Starlight Beacon. I knew I wasn't getting tongue twisted. So it's great. I actually have not finished with Light of the Jedi yet. I've actually got it going on Audible, and it's been fabulous. I have loved it. My only regret is I haven't had more time to listen. So it looks like I'm going to, with Into the Dark coming out tomorrow, I really need to kick it into high gear and finish Light of the Jedi so I can get into, I still got Test of Courage to read, and then, of course, Into the Dark. There's so much fun stuff coming from this. And not to even mention the comics. I haven't touched the comics.
Right. It is interesting. They've done a really nice job, and when you finish Light of the Jedi, and then when you listen to a Test of Courage you'll get through really fast if you do an Audible, buddy. It's about, I think, 4 hours, 35 minutes, much shorter than the 15 plus hours of Light of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But it was neat. Once I finished the Test of Courage, I went back and in Audible, and I just hit the last couple chapters in the epilogue of Light of the Jedi, and I'm like, okay, I get how it all comes together. And then it's the same thing with, like I said, with what Jeff McGee and Matt Moore covered with the first Marvel The High Republic comic, and how that, focuses on Jedi Master Skier and his Padawan Keeve Trennis, and how all those fit together, and it's pretty nice. It's really well done, and I'm with you. I'm enjoying these characters. I think, if anything, I was going to say to you that probably the ones I've heard a lot of Star Wars fans, and looking on Twitter and listening to some podcasts, kind of talk about have any of them stood out. And for me, it is, I think, Bell Zettifar and his Jedi Master Loden Greatstorm. I really liked them in Light of the Jedi, and just to kind of keep it moving forward, in July, I've seen 2 different dates. I've seen June and July for Rising Storm by Kevin Scott. Mm-hmm. That is actually the next adult novel, after Light of the Jedi. Test of Courage is a young reader. Into the Dark is young adult. That's, what Claudia Gray has always done. And just like you said, I love Bloodline. I love Lost Stars. I love Master and Apprentice. I think the only one I haven't read by her, and I've heard Dan Z talk about it quite a bit, is Princess of Alderaan, Leia, Princess of Alderaan.
Yeah.
and Dan just raves about that. So I might that might be when I have any free time from the High Republic, I'd like to listen to it because I'm with you. I love her stuff, so I'm so looking forward to Into the Dark and what she does there. But yeah, Rising Storm is going to have a Jedi master called Stellan Gios, um, um, along with we're going to see more of Bel Zettifar in that one. So that looks really interesting. So those are a couple of the characters that really stood out. I very much like Vernestra Rowe in A Test of Courage and her role in that. That was really nice. I know some people might shy away from that because of it being a young reader, but I have to admit, I really like how Justina Ireland describes the Force and the issue of anger and trying to avoid that and really reiterating a lot of stuff that Yoda talks about. But she does it in a really nice way that I think kids of all ages, and me as an adult, I enjoyed it. So kudos to her there. But I think the only one I don't have or went through is The Great Jedi Rescue. Kevin Scott did it. I've heard some other podcasts talk. I think it's 26 pages, and it sounds like a cute little retelling of what happens with the great disaster that everyone knows about. So I've seen the cover of it. It looks pretty cool. I almost want to get it just to say I have it, but yeah. So those are some of the things coming. But yeah, definitely looking forward to tomorrow and getting Into the Dark by Claudia Gray.
Yeah, it's a great. I'm looking forward to getting that too. I mean, this whole initiative was very ambitious and it couldn't have it hit road bumps almost immediately because they announced it, and a month later the world went crazy.
Yeah.
COVID shut everything down. Everything kept getting pushed back, and then we started seeing delays in the publishing process, and it just kind of wreaked havoc on their planned rollout. But this seems to be working, and they're doing a great job getting it out and putting the material front and center with all the little digital shorts they've been putting out on their social media and on YouTube, introducing you to the different characters and stuff. Then, of course, with the new monthly show, the High Republic show, which just had its first episode this past week, which was a huge hit as well. So there's a lot they're doing everything they can to push out the good word on High Republic, which, everything I've seen so far and everything I've read so far, everything I've seen, because I've seen though I have not read the full comics, I've seen samples of the comics and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're all well drawn and they're well written and they're fabulous stories. I mean, the IDW comic, the High Republic Adventures, which issue 1's coming out this month in February, actually even has Yoda in it. So, this 200 years prior to Last Jedi, so he could be in his 600s, 700s.
Yeah.
I mean, since we don't have an exact age, we just know in 900 years old you reach. Look as good you do.
Yeah.
So, so we got a lot of great stuff coming. I really want to get my hands on that High Republic adventure just to see the Yoda adventures, because it apparently it takes place aboard a Starhopper ship, what they call basically a Padawan cruise, kind of like what Ahsoka did with the Padawans when she took them to get their crystals in Clone Wars. Right. So it's kind of that type of situation, that kind of training cruise. So I'd be really interested to see that and how that goes with Yoda actually being out of the temple teaching instead of in the temple teaching. Or, I mean, the only other time we see him out of the temple is during the Clone Wars when he's there, when the battles are raging. So this will be that I really am interested to look at and to see how it goes.
Just for our listeners to know, I was looking at this just before we got on. Today, February 1st, at StarWars.com, if you go under the section, if you just at the very bottom scroll over, you click on the High Republic, it will give you everything. And they have a real brief article talking about how tomorrow IDW, the High Republic Adventures, comes out, and they show the beginning. They have a number of panels. It looks like it might be the first few pages, and you can see Yoda. And a primary Padawan looks like it's going to be Lula Talisola. I saw Daniel Jose Older talking about her, and so if anybody wants to look, it's there, and it is cool to see Yoda there on that Starhopper, and how they get pulled into the adventure, of the Great Disaster as well. So that just came out today. Those are the first panels I've seen of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Okay, I didn't know those were up there. I'll have to go check it out. 'Cause I do want to see. Actually, I'm going to go check that out right now because I want to see what Yoda looks like in the comic.
Right.
We've seen
right.
some.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing a concept art, but I don't remember seeing any final art. So
Right. The concept art, yeah, all the ones that we see of all the different Padawans, all the different Jedis, yeah. But I just saw it, just 10 minutes. I just was trying to go through and go back to StarWars.com and just update some stuff for you and me. And I looked, I'm like, oh my gosh, all right, great. They're giving a little preview, and you can see what Yoda looks like, and Lula Talisola, and some of the other Padawans as well.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
cool. Ooh, let's see here. High Republic, Marvel. Here we go. Explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the website's moving really slow tonight for some reason. For the Star Wars site, or at least for me, it is. Could be a lot going on here at home. Oh, that's why there's a Disney Plus pop-up coming. Anyway, but yeah, this whole initiative is great. I love the fact that they're exploring a new era of Star Wars. It's so much fun to hear about the High Republic and about the Jedi in these
Yeah.
In the setting, because it is quite interesting to see. It almost feels like a different type of Jedi than what we're used to from the prequels forward. These seem more like just from what I've been reading in in Light of the Jedi so far. They're more. They're not. We always hear about how the Jedi are peacekeepers. They're not soldiers and so forth, not generals. But I mean, this is really where it gives you. It's kind of like gives me almost an Old West feel, like with the U.S. Marshals just kind of roaming around city to city. And there's just that mystical, not mystical, but it's mystery around them. And I'm kind of like digging it.
Well, and let me piggyback on something, because a lot of people, not a lot, I've heard a certain number of people say that they were concerned about the Jedi being all powerful, no problems, boring. That's not the case here. They've got serious adversaries, and the way Charles Soule sets them up, they really are. So this isn't just Jedi at their peak. They can kick everybody's butt. They're not struggling with anything like Anakin and Obi-Wan and, so on and so forth. And even Luke, struggling with his emotions and growing up and all that. I just want to encourage people, no, it's not, they began both The Light of the Jedi and A Test of Courage with this idea, and they've talked about it, Charles Soule, all the authors, this is not a spoiler, and you're like, really? And you start to get into it, and you're like, wow, this is, yeah, it is. It's not just, right, the Jedi just dominate everything. There's challenges, and they've got legitimate foes in this. And so I want to make sure I said that, because I do get why people were concerned about that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Charles Soule, Justina Ireland, Kevin Scott, Daniel Jose Older, Claudia Gray, and the whole Lucas from they weren't gonna. What's the point? Who wants to hear about that if there's no challenges and no difficulties? And there's a lot of difficulties. And Charles Soule starts off with all the difficulties these Jedi start to face. A lot of them. And Justina Ireland keeps it going in A Test of Courage. So, no, this isn't just easy peasy lemon squeezy,
No.
So, yeah.
No, it's been great, and I love that too. I mean, that's one thing that captured me right at the beginning of Light of the Jedi when I before the book even came out. When I was reading the sample, I found a sampler, a High Republic sampler on Kindle, and I was reading. It had the first 7 chapters of Light of the Jedi, a couple of Test of Courage, and some samples of the comics. And when I read those first 7 chapters of Light of the Jedi, I was sick that I couldn't continue. I mean, it blew me away.
Yeah.
Just those first 7 chapters, because it starts off, with on a sprint, and I love it. So yeah, it's not just boring old Jedi policing stuff. There's legit issues in the galaxy that are just starting to show up. So very cool. And I finally got the sample page loaded for the IDW High Republic Adventures.
Good.
And I'm looking at Yoda.
Yeah. What do you think? Does he look?
He looks like yogurt from Spaceballs. I'm serious. There's a couple of the first
very first one.
It shows the 2 covers, and of course one of the covers has Yoda on it, and it just looks like Yoda from Attack of the Clones.
Oh.
But then when you actually get into the comic, the second page of the actual comic, it's like the second page, and it's the third little panel, and it's a little square, and it's Yoda's pretty much the focus of that little square, and that animated comic drawn Yoda looks like yogurt from Spaceballs.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at it too. And then even the one below it, before it goes to the other planet there. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like this effort to make him look younger. His mouth and stuff, and less of the gray hairs on him. But I know it's always difficult, right? How do you look, when you're that, 200 years younger? So I guess he's
exactly
200 years younger, but yes.
Well, and when you keep going, I mean, and I'm looking at all the pictures they have of Yoda in these panels, and some of them are spot on. They look like Yoda, just younger. Then the others are just like, I don't know, like the one I mentioned earlier, like he kind of looks like yogurt. Then a couple of the last one, the last page they have on the sample, the last visual you have of Yoda, of him just kind of standing there, and you kind of see his whole body standing next to another Jedi Master, and he looks like a mad little man.
He does, yeah. You look at him.
He doesn't look like the wise master that we're used to seeing. He looks like the master you don't want to cross. He's the one you don't want to raise the hand and go, "May I go to the bathroom?"
Well, yeah, and it shows him amongst all of these Padawans.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them here, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting when I've listened to Jeff McGee and Matt Moore and stuff, and even Jay Shepard on Jedi Journals. You'll hear them talk about the artwork, the coloring, and stuff like that. But I get it. It's always interesting how different artists do these characters we love. and not only how they're penciled, but how they're inked. And and sometimes the inking can really help, or not. But yes, it's going to take some getting used to kind of seeing Yoda in a different light than what we've seen for many many years. Throughout the prequel trilogy and then the original trilogy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
well,
Like I said,
so,
it's
anyway.
like you said, it's a matter of getting used to the artistic impression. So I mean, and definitely it's going to be. I still want to get my hands on it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's all drawn a lot better than I could ever do. Not trying to be, overly critical and or anything like that. That was my initial reaction was Spice Balls. But the story is I'm looking forward to. Daniel Jose Older wrote those, so I'm looking forward to reading it. He's a great author, and it's going to be exciting. I gotta get a new comic source and start getting comics.
What do you think about the Marvel Unlimited app? I mean, because now I don't think they would have the IDW, but they would have the High Republic and then all the other Star Wars, Dr. Aphra and the main Star Wars line and all that. Have you ever done that before?
I have not. I don't know if they. I would have to do some checking because I thought I heard at some point that it doesn't have the new releases. It has a lot of the older stuff, and new releases come several months later. So, like if it's released tomorrow, it's not going to be there tomorrow. That was my understanding. I would have to do some checking on that and find out for sure. But I mean, if you're somebody that's going to read comics all the time, then yeah, it definitely could be something that would be worth it. But for me, I don't see a value in it because very rarely do I find a comic series that I like, and most of the ones I find that I like go 20 issues and then they're done.
Good point.
AKA Poe Dameron.
Same thing as you though. Like I heard it's about 3 months. So any of these High Republic ones from January, February, it'll be several months before they're on Marvel Unlimited. Now, what I had done for a while was get some trades, but after a while, I'm like, man, just like I said with the novels, I'm going to Audible, and I've already been saving quite a bit of space, and my wife is quite happy. I feel the same thing with the trade paperbacks when I keep buying. Like if I bought a trade of the first 5-6 issues of the High Republic, like I want that. On the other hand, I'm like, well, if I just get it on Marvel Unlimited, then they're there, and I'm not storing them, but it is waiting for them. But I don't know. I don't mind, but I hear what you're saying about are there ones you like or not? Now, there are ones I'd like to go back to, like TIE Fighter. You and I have talked about that a little bit. Ties in with Shadowfall and so forth. Shadowfall, Alphabet Squadron. Of course, we got the third and final novel coming out here pretty soon, and I'm excited about that. But
is that March?
What did you tell me? We mentioned
it's March.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. What is it called? The
Victory Price?
Yeah. Now, again, I'm going to get that physical copy because I've got the first 2 physical, so I'll get all 3 in physical. But I am looking forward to that. I have enjoyed those first 2 things. But that goes back to the characters you talked about. And I was going to bring that around to High Republic. That was something I was curious as I jumped into High Republic in January. Am I going to like the characters? And if you do, then, you're in, right? And if you don't like them, then you're not going to be in. But I do like more than just, Jedi Master Loden Greatstorm and Bel Zettifar as Padawan. There's a number of other characters I liked in Light of the Jedi, including Avar Kriss. And there's another guy. He's at the Jedi Outpost on Elfrona. And his name is Porter Engle. And he's this old Jedi Master. And he's a really cool character that has in there. But but yeah, there's a lot. Same thing with a test of courage. I really like Vernestra Rowe. Um, and then there's the other Padawan, Emery Contreras. I think I got his name correct. And I liked how those two interacted in that. So there's a lot of characters. Let's see, who's the one that Avar Chris hangs out with? Elzar Mann. Is that right? Elzar Mann.
I think so.
So I like these characters, and I want to know more about them. And like I said, Reese Silas, who we're going to see in Into the Dark, I'm curious about him. And Stellan Gios, which we're going to see in Rising Storm. We've got some, concept art on him. He looks really cool. But yeah, I'm in, man. I'm in, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's great, and we were Victory's Price comes out March 2nd.
Oh, nice.
So a month. So we get Into the Dark on February 2nd. Victory Price on March 2nd.
Nice. And you know what we should do, buddy, is have a show on all three of those. Just kind of.
Yeah, we'll do an Alphabet Squadron review. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
I'll have to do that.
There's a lot.
Means I got to finish Shadowfall.
Well, I did finish it, and as soon as I finished it, I saw the thing. They showed the cover to Victory's Price, and I'm like, oh, sweet. With Will Lark on it.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, no, a lot of good stuff coming. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that one I was actually reading the novel, the actual book itself, and I was reading it, got about third of the way through it, then Thrawn Ascendancy came out. Then Clone Wars Stories of Light and Dark came out. From a Certain Point of View came out, the Empire Strikes Back version, and all these other books started coming out, and I'm going that I wanted to read, and Thrawn kind of got me distracted and got me away. Then I forgot, because that's when I started listening to Audible too. Right. So that's when I had pulled away from the actual physical copy, and it's sitting here on my shelf with the bookmark in. I see the bookmark sticking out of it going, finish me.
Well, no, and I remember that. And I was doing the same thing as you. I was like, man, I got to get through this. And I really pushed myself to finish it, because then I got, Thrawn, Chaos Rising on Audible. And I've gone from there. But yeah, I'm going to get all three of those Thrawn books on Audible. But I will get the physical copy of Victory's Price. I'm going to have all three of those physical. Yeah. And then I think maybe one of the only other physical books I'll get is From a Certain Point of View, Return of the Jedi, when that comes out, 2023, I guess, right? Every 3 years, right?
Yeah, something like that. I believe that's it, yeah. Whenever the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi is.
Yeah. And so yeah, I'm recording with you, and I'm looking at my shelves, and they're very happy that I've made the general switch to Audible. It's really a lot of space. And I can go back and I'll just click on a chapter, man, and you'll hear the person read it for you.
Yeah.
Wait, let's see there, boom, 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 boom. And I've got them with me. Right. The other night I went to go pick up my daughter from ballet, and I finished A Test of Courage, and then wait, I want to hear the end of Light of the Jedi again. So bam, went right over to that. And listened to the last 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, yeah, I want that back in my head. And I didn't have the books with me, right? Because I don't have them, but I've got them in my phone, and it was really fun to kind of bounce back and forth and do that. So although I'm a book lover, I love books, but I'm having a lot of fun with Audible. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So let us know what y'all think of the High Republic series so far. There's a little out now. There's a lot more coming, and it's going to be a never-ending flow. And eventually, that one show that they announced, the Acolyte, Star Wars Acolyte, the Dark Side show, is apparently going to be tied into High Republic. So it's set into that time frame, I should say. So there's a lot of great stuff coming down the pipe with this High Republic. So let us know what y'all think. You can actually let us know on our social media pages. We're on Facebook at Star Wars Reactions, Twitter at at SW Reactions Pod, and of course Instagram SW Reactions. So let us know. Of course, you can always email us to show@starwarsreactions.com. Awesome. I am looking forward to all the new High Republic stuff. So David, if somebody wants to talk High Republic with you or Star Wars in general, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, two different ways. Twitter's always been the same. It's David_Modders. And then, of course, email if someone wants to do a longer form. It is david@starwarsreactions.com.
Excellent. And of course, if you do want to talk Star Wars or anything in general with me, best place to do that is Twitter. That's at TA. I just blanked on my Twitter. It's at TA Harris 121079. So check it out. Hit me up there, or of course email me Aaron@starwarsreactions.com. All right, David, my friend, this has been a blast.
Yeah, man, I'm glad we got on. Had a little bit more of a short form. Hopefully it's a easy listen, a fun one, no spoilers, and maybe just an encouragement for people to really enjoy this one. There's really no Mandalorian, no Kenobi, no, none of the Star Wars stuff for quite a while till December with Book of Boba Fett. So hopefully people can enjoy the High Republic.
Yeah, definitely give it a shot. You won't if you like reading and comics, I'm sure you will not regret it. So check it out. A lot of great stuff coming. Want to thank everybody for listening. Y'all are awesome. Y'all the greatest. We are thankful for y'all. We pray for y'all still daily, and that you're having a great 2021. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
If you'd like to share your thoughts, you can email us at show@starwarsreactions.com for our show notes and the latest news from the Star Wars universe. Visit our website at www.starwarsreactions.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWReactionsPod or on Facebook at Star Wars Reactions. If you enjoy our show, please leave a review on iTunes. This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and the respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.